Greetings all and welcome to another lesson on basics of stock markets. In the last few lessons, we discussed how to punch orders manually. Now, taking a step ahead, let us talk about few more things that you as a trader or investor should know when you are investing into stock markets. In the last few lessons, we saw how company raises funds via IPO and how you as a trader or investor can buy or sell shares. But in today's lesson, we're going to talk about what happens to the money collected via IPO. How does a company uses it? Let us go back to our example of Raju. In the last lessons, Raju raised a capital of 1000 crore via IPO. Now, Raju takes this 1000 crore and tries to expand his empire. In the first year after raising IPO, let us say Raju makes a profit of 100 crore. Now, this 100 crore will go into his reserves. Now, Raju and the core member of his company can decide what to do with this profit. They can utilize the entire profit for the next year's growth, or they can give a part of profits among its shareholder. Now, let us say in our example, Raju decides that out of 100 crore, he will retain 50 crore rupees for his further growth, and he will distribute 50 crore rupees among the stakeholders and shareholders of the company. The 50 crore retained is called as retention, and the 50 crore to be distributed is called as distribution. Now, when Raju will distribute this 50 crore rupees to the shareholders and the stakeholders, the amount credited to shareholders is called as dividend. Now remember, dividend will be directly transferred into your bank account and not to your demat account. Now the next question you might ask is how to know which company is giving dividend so that I can buy that particular share. Well, there is no specific way to determine which company will announce dividend. It usually happens randomly. Whenever a company is about to give dividend, there is a certain timeline of dates and a step-by-step procedure. Let us look at it one by one. The first date in the entire dividend process is dividend declaration date. Well, this is a date on which company's core members will have a meeting and then they'll finally announce how much dividend to be given to the shareholders. On the dividend declaration date, they will announce a date on which they are about to give the dividend, and apart from that, they will announce a record date. Now, record date is a date when they will record all the shareholders of that particular company. If you are holding the share of that company on the record date, you will be eligible to get the dividend. If you are not holding the share as of on record date, or if you are purchasing the share after the record date, you will not be eligible to get the dividend. In India, usually settlement happens with T plus 2 days. That means if you buy the share today, it will be credited into your demat account either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So to be eligible on the record date, you will essentially have to buy shares 1 or 2 days prior to it. And the 2 days or 1 day prior to it is called as ex-dividend date. So when the dividend declaration is announced, from the dividend declaration date till ex-dividend date, you have time. You can purchase the share between this and hold it till ex-dividend date. If you are holding the share till ex-dividend date, your name will be considered on the record date and you will get the dividend. And the dividend is finally credited on dividend payment date. So we have 4 dates. One is dividend declaration date. Second is record date. Up 2 days prior to that is called as ex-dividend date, and finally dividend payment date. Now there are 2 types of dividend that a company can give you. One is interim dividend. Interim dividend is announced anytime during the financial year and it is randomly given out of unexpected profit that a company makes. The other dividend is called as final dividend. Final dividend is usually given at the close of financial year, At the close of financial year, company evaluates its entire business and checks how much profit or loss it has done, and accordingly they give a final dividend. So there is interim dividend and final dividend. Now let us say company wants to give out dividend to the shareholders, but it does not want to pay cash. In that case, company can convert its reserves or profits into shares and pass these shares in the form of dividend to the shareholders. When a company passes the profit in the form of share, it is called as bonus share or simply bonus. So bonus is an extra share that a shareholder gets absolutely free just because they are holding that particular company. Now, for example, if a company announces 1:1 bonus, it basically means for every one share that a shareholder is holding, he'll receive an extra bonus share free of cost. Now, for example, if there is an ex-user who is holding 100 shares of some company and it has announced 1:1 bonus, he will get 100 shares of that company absolutely free in the form of bonus. Once these bonus shares are credited, he can then sell out these shares to make money. The major difference between dividend and bonus is that dividend is directly credited to your bank account, whereas bonus shares is credited into your demat account in the form of shares. After dividend and bonus, the next term that we're going to talk about is split. Split, as the name suggests, is basically splitting the stock price into multiple small prices and issuing the multiples of the small prices. For example, if there is an X company whose stock price is 1000 rupees and it decides to have a split of 10:1. That means for every one share, it will now get split into 10 shares. So the price of 1000 will break down to a share price of 100 rupees, and anyone who is holding one share will get 10 shares. So you see, there is no effect on the holding. For example, if I am holding 10 shares of a particular share whose share price is 1000 rupees, after 10:1 split, I will be holding 100 shares and each of them will have a share price of 100 rupees. My total investment still remains unaffected. Now, why does a company does split? Usually, company does split when the share prices have gone up drastically and they feel that it will cause some liquidity issue. For example, let us say there is a company whose share price have gone all the way up till 10,000. Now 10,000 is the price for each single share. A retail trader who is very new to the world of stock market might find it difficult to invest into the share whose share price is 10,000 rupees. So there will be limited buyer and seller doing transaction on this particular share. However, if there is a split of 1:10, the share price will fall down from 10,000 to 1,000. Now, retail participants can also actively buy and sell share because now the share price is a little cheaper. So essentially, stock split is done to ensure there is enough liquidity between buyers and sellers. Now let us quickly analyze split and bonus. In the case of split, the share price are getting split and I as an investor am getting more number of shares than I originally was holding. In the case of bonus also, I am getting more shares as bonus in the free of cost. In the case of stock split, the prices drops down by the multiple with which the stock split is announced. Surprisingly, in the case of bonus also, the stock price falls as good as it falls in the case of stock split. Now let us understand why does this happen in a detailed way. Consider there are two different companies. One is ABC Limited, second is XYZ Limited. Both are identical company, both have a share price of 10,000 rupees per share. ABC decides to give bonus, whereas XYZ decides to have a stock split. Now when ABC decides to give bonus, it gives a bonus of 4:1. That means for every one share held, shareholders will get 4 extra bonus shares. Whereas in the case of stock split in XYZ decides to have a stock split of 5:1. That means one share will get split into 5 shares. Now let us look at the impact after bonus and stock split. Let us say I as an investor am holding 100 shares of ABC and 100 shares of XYZ. After bonus, in ABC I will get 400 more shares, and in the case of stock split also I'll get 400 more shares. The price in the case of stock split will go all the way down from 10,000 to 2,000 rupees per share, and in the case of bonus also the prices will fall down from 10,000 to 2,000 rupees. Now let us try to understand in detail why exactly the prices falls down in the case of bonus. Now let us say ABC has share capital of 20 crore whose face value is 10, so there are 2 crore outstanding shares, and a reserve of 100 crore. The total value of ABC Limited is 120 crore. After bonus, the share capital will go from 20 crore to 100 crore. There will be an addition of 80 crore as there is a 8 crore addition in the shares, and the reserve will go down from 100 crore to 20 crore, and still the total value will remain to be 120 crore. You see, when a company issues bonus shares, it does not pay extra shares from its pocket. It does not take it from any existing shareholder and give it to someone else. It generates bonus shares from the cash reserves, and because of which the reserves goes down. But in total, as we have seen, market value still remains same. And in the case of stock split and in the case of bonus, the market value remains exactly the same, and hence in the case of bonus also prices will drop down as good as it is dropping down in the case of stock split. So now you might think that is bonus share actually profitable? Because after all the prices are just dropping down as good as stock split. Then what exactly is the use of bonus shares? Well, bonus shares are given with an expectation that even after bonus there will be some price difference left over and people can actually liquidate. Now you might think that dividend is better than bonus share. Well, when a company announces dividend, even after the dividend announcement there is a correction as good as the correction in the case of bonus. For example, let us say if the ABC Limited, whose share price is 10,000 rupees, would have announced a dividend of 100 rupees per share, then after announcement the prices from 10,000 would have fallen down to 9,900 because 100 rupees dividend is going out from the reserve to the shareholders. So both in the case of dividend or bonus, there will be a correction as good as the correction in the stock split. Now before we wind up this video, let us quickly summarize the major difference between stock split and bonus. In the case of stock split, the face value goes down. For example, if there is a stock split of 5:1, the face value from 10 will go down to 2. In the case of bonus, since the money is going from reserve, there is no drop or impact on the face value. A company can do stock split till the face value reaches to 1. Once the face value has gone down to 1, company can no longer do stock split. However, in the case of bonus, company can do bonus as many times as it wants since there is no effect on the face value. In the case of stock split, the stocks are split into the existing shareholders account, whereas in the case of bonus shares are given from company to the shareholders. Now, talking about taxation, dividend is completely tax free. That means the money you get into your bank account in the form of dividend is completely tax free. We'll talk about taxation on dividend in detail in the upcoming video. However, if you get bonus shares into your demat account, the moment you sell them, it will be attracting taxes as STCG or LTCG. What are they? We are again going to talk about taxation in detail in our next video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.